everybody, I'm Philip.
And I'm Justin.
And together, we are Pajamas. And we are going to continue our odyssey through Doctor Who Season 3. We are now on Episode 4. A couple things before we start. One, so if you can hear the traffic, sorry, we're trying to record a little earlier. Also, two, it is very, 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 very hot in the apartment right now. This will probably be a sentiment we echo repeatedly as we do these videos in the summertime. But to film these, we record with everything off. Central air, fans, everything is off. Even the quietest fan that I have is off. I can't turn the traffic off though, sadly. So if you see us patting ourselves or whatever, especially those on Patreon who watch the full reactions, that's why. Extra spot. All that aside, we're going to do our best to not let the heat get to us, to enjoy this episode if it's enjoyable, and then talk about it as long as we can before we start melting. So, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So he's like, yes. Let's do this. Yes. So without further ado, let's get into it.
She'll love you just as much as I do.
Oh, you say the sweetest things. I'm coming! Quit yelling!
Sci-fi and horror, maybe? I love Daleks.
I know. Interesting.
I've always wanted to go to New York. I mean, the real New York, not the new one.
Italians?
A bit further than that.
So how come you're here?
Oh, my daddy died. Mama couldn't afford to feed us all. So
Looks like Andrew Garfield.
feed myself.
Whoa!
These plates have got to be fixed to the mast.
So they're trying to create like a mega Dalek?
It'll get done. Don't worry.
Daleks have no concept of worry.
By any means necessary.
You think like a Dalek. In the laboratory, the final experiment will begin.
Good point.
They're following you.
Yeah, I noticed that. Thanks.
And I'm not stupid. I know some guys are just pigs, but not my Laszlo.
We're not together.
Oh, sure you are. I've seen the way you look at him. It's obvious.
Not to him.
I should have realized. He's into musical theater, huh? What a waste.
How does that involve me?
We need your flesh. I will sacrifice myself for the greater cause.
Come on, honey, take a look. I've been on stage before.
Oh, a little bit. You know, Shakespeare.
Bye-bye.
The female is wise. Obey. Reading brainwaves. Low intelligence.
Yeah, well, you can kiss me later. You too, Frank, if you want.
The final stage of evolution. Scan him. Prepare the shell, the children of Skaro must walk again.
I am a human Dalek.
Amazing.
Well, okay then. Didn't expect that.
Indeed. One would think that Daleks want to destroy humanity, and in this case, it's to actually do quite the opposite, unite to become a separate being.
That's just crazy to think about because Daleks are all about, well, they're saying purity, but they're like, when purity has gotten us nothing, so we need to like adapt and evolve. The logic makes sense.
Like
Like the human race always finds ways to persevere, but Daleks lost everything. So to them, logically, for them to survive and persevere, they need to adapt to human. It's
Like every other living thing, it needs to adapt to its environment, otherwise it will go extinct.
it's just crazy to think about. They're becoming the thing that they hate. Well, they hate everything, but that's not Dalek. So it's sacrilegious according to their doctrine.
Indeed.
That's just it's wild to think about. Like the lengths you'll go to ensure the survival of your species.
Yes. Again, like in biology, everything, at least in general, will do whatever it takes to survive.
Yeah. Was not expecting this turn of events when we started the episode. It would have been cool if they didn't say like Daleks in Manhattan or whatever. If they just said like trouble in Manhattan and then the Daleks appeared again. Like I like when they're surprised. And then when it started, I'm thinking, how are the Daleks going to? And then they're showing the drawings of the Empire State Building, and it kind of looked like a big Dalek. At first, I thought that's what I thought they were going with. Some like mass production kind of thing. Went back to the 1930s.
Oh, yes.
Interesting time to put this in. Makes sense though. This is only a part one, so it's kind of hard to, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next one, but definitely intrigued where this is going to go. Thoughts on the episode?
Does lead me to wonder how more Daleks could be generated. At first I was assuming that, well, they could simply do what they did with their own species, in which they would simply take everything out except for the hate, and they would make new Daleks. Or do some sort of genetic mutation to turn them into Daleks.
Yeah, when they said outside the shell, I was like, ooh.
Yes, something very different. Usually when I think of a Dalek, I think of the little machine.
Yeah, it's just like, as I was saying, just if you think about the price of evolution for them, that's a pretty steep thing. That's just trying to wrap my mind around that is, like, imagine having to become something you despise in order to survive. You know, it's just a form of extremism, which obviously the reasoning is extreme, so it makes sense that there's a saying that I've always liked to say: evolve or die. And I always meant that as a person, like, evolve yourself, evolve who you are, or perish in the nothingness that you will eventually become. Because if you're not evolving, then what are you doing? What is life if you're not learning and growing and experiencing and stuff? And they took that evolve or die. Like, ooh, we need to, just for them to, like, I know I'm repeating myself, but just for them to genetically intersperse themselves with humanity, and the reason why, okay. It's just crazy that, a Dalek would go to that length to preserve any kind of life for themselves.
It does seem like an extreme thing to do, but it seems that it was their only option, considering what they said. That they've tried what they've been trying to do, and what does it actually get them? A reduction in numbers.
It's going to be very interesting to see where part 2 goes. I mean, obviously, the Doctor's going to win, but what happens? And I think that was Andrew Garfield. Like, I'm almost 100% positive that was Andrew Garfield. Played Frank in the... Yep. it was him. God, that was way back then. That had to have been before he got Spider-Man. Yeah. Wow. Just glad he wasn't dead. I was like, oh, not Andrew Garfield. Any other thoughts on the episode?
We now know exactly what a Dalek would look like if it were to mix with human DNA.
Yeah. Like, imagine being like that guy. If you're a human and you get sucked into the shell and then you get enveloped. That experience must have been horrifying. Empathetically, like, put yourself in that situation and just like, good creature design. Thought it made sense for a human Dalek hybrid. That was good. It's just crazy. Like I said, for just I never thought I'd see the day that the Daleks would try and assimilate themselves to humanity.
Yes, it's very contrary to their character, it would seem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the setting fit, the story fit. I feel bad for the guy who was like turned into a half pig. He has his like you'd almost just rather have the whole thing be done, so you don't have to have the cognitive ability of a human and then still look like this, because like he said, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Like, other than join the circus, what life does he have?
That is true, especially in this time period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they touched on like when the one guy in Hooverville said, they can build that, but here we are, starving in the park or whatever. Amusing how little things change. It's not that drastic now, but yeah. Crazy you can have the people who hoard it all while everyone else gets the scraps. Capitalism. Have it being built and that time and using cheap labor because people want to work. People want to eat and live. So, like I said, when they chose this time period, it was a good choice. I'll go through my notes real quick. We are starting to overheat. So if this is not as long as our usual things, we apologize. It's just,
The fact that there were Daleks in here, though, did help to distract me from the temperature and humidity.
Yeah. The story was engaging enough to distract from how brutally warm it is right now. Yeah, I'm not comfortable right now.
It was especially distracting to see something that it would, at least to us, it would seem to be something that a Dalek wouldn't ever do.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Wouldn't ever think, let alone do.
Yeah, once I realized what was going on, it was just, ooh. Like, at first I thought there was going to be a mutiny. Like, we're losing our purity. But the chain of command.
It seems that the struggle to survive even overcomes something that they're supposed to only have, which is hatred.
Yeah. And being pure and encasing themselves to protect what they are and survive. And now they can survive outside of that metal shell. For now. And still very cool. I'm still enjoying Martha as a companion. I like her. Again, it's nice to go into episodes where I'm just like...
Yes. We agree with the scan. Yes, she is of high intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so for my notes real quick. When they kissed in the beginning, I always found it weird people who kiss with their eyes open like that. I don't know. It's just me. It's just me. I know, like, you're supposed to kiss with, kiss like that. But people are just like... It's just like, close your eyes. It's a little disconcerting. Stop staring at me. I wrote that I wasn't expecting Daleks so soon in the season. I assumed that we would get them in the season finale again. But happy to see them, and they're in a two-parter, so it's kind of like, season finales are generally two-parters, so cool. I wrote Andrew Garfield, question mark? Yep. And then this is where I was writing, Daleks, purity versus adaptation, sacrifice becoming more, human to survive, humans endure, there's only 4 Daleks. Like, I love that whole train of thought. And I know I've repeated it a few times. I blame the heat. It's just the thing that stuck out to me the most about the episode, was just that the survival instinct and doing everything you could to survive. Her saying that the Doctor is in a musical theater.
Well, it is the 30s.
I know. I just always like amusing, but at the same time, it was a tasteful way to put it.
Probably better than if she were to actually have said what people would have said it at that time.
Yeah. So
what any person would have said at that time, that would probably have been censored because it's too insensitive.
Yeah. And then the line about Martha could kiss him later, and then Frank too, Andrew Garfield's character. I was like, okay, cool. Even if I meant in jest, I appreciate the bread, throwing us a little throwing us a bone there. Appreciate it. And I would not be opposed to seeing that. I love the Doctor's line, they survive, they always survive while I lose everything.
Yes, which is actually very true.
Yeah, the amount of not just hatred and fear he has for the Daleks, just the disgust in that line. And maybe a bit of envy, because, not maybe, like, they always survive. Jealousy, envy, I lost everything, I'm by myself. Well, according to, Face of Bo, if we're interpreting it correctly, he's not. He's not alone, as far as we know right now, and in general, because we don't know what's going to happen, of course.
Especially from his point of view, yes, he is the only Time Lord that there is.
Yeah, exactly.
At least a Dalek has another Dalek to talk to, whereas this Time Lord doesn't have another Time Lord to talk to. No one to relate to.
So I really, really like that line a lot. And then, of course, I got to nitpick some, because it wouldn't be an episode if I didn't. Incoming nitpicks. But I can understand why. But when Tallulah is talking with Laszlo in the sewers, he's like, "Who are you? Who are you?" Wouldn't she recognize his voice? Like, if you were turned into a half pig hiding from me in a sewer, and you were like saying, "Don't look at me, don't look at me," I would recognize your voice.
Yes.
So I get it though, because he had like the prosthetics in. Maybe his voice was different with the pig face, but it still sounded kind of the same.
Yes. It probably helped, though, if she isn't able to distinguish the voice, to actually look in his eyes, because...
Well, she didn't. She still didn't know who he was. So, and that's just me. If I had to find anything in the episode to... Because I know how much somebody out there love it, that's for you. This concludes Nitpicks.
I may be sweating, but at least I look good doing it.
Yes, you do. And, that was my only thing about the episode. Everything else is for my patrons on Patreon. And, overall, very intriguing. And, we saw things we never thought we'd see.
Yes.
So, I'm very, very interested to see what happens in part 2 to this.
The Daleks, even by doing this, they've complimented humanity that at least there's one thing that they're good at.
Surviving.
Yes, surviving by adapting.
Yeah, exactly. The Daleks saying, you built all this looking out the window. Another form of envy. Like, even the Daleks, so they're like built to show or express hate. We know it's like, we had like the Daleks envious of humanity, and then the Doctor envious of the Daleks. So it's just interesting.
It could be some sort of way in which the writers are connecting hatred and envy and how they're connected to each other.
Oh yeah. Could be. Yeah. All right. Anything else you'd like to add? Okay, we're gonna go and wrap this one up. We are. Yeah, we're very, very warm. Poor Justin. He's melting. So we need to go get him some cool air on his beautiful face. So that's going to wrap this one up. As always, I don't have a fancy outro, so I'll simply say thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, part 2, to Human Daleks. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye. Usually, when there's a 2-part thing, I like to see part 2, but considering the heat, I think that I'll stay in suspense.
100% agree.